Julie, ditto. Sandra, ditto. Colonel West, holy shit. I can emphasize all the self-evident truth that has been shared here today, but the most important thing on this beautiful 28th day of January, 2022, is that I just had the best enchilada I have. I want to meet the chef and just hug. So, obviously I have my priorities. I'm humbled and honored to be here. I'm a guitar player from Detroit, and I watched America go to hell incrementally after World War II. And I could repeat everything that Mike and Sandra and Aaron and Julie and Colonel West said, but you all know they're true. The evidence is inescapable. But I will emphasize a couple things. I love you because you're here. I love you people because you're here. Because we're not an endangered species. You care. You're a small group of commandos for freedom, life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. But I'm going to disagree, even though I know he respects his elders, and there's no one I respect more. Five ain't good enough. You know 50 people, and I want you to impact every one. I want when you leave here today that you go and recruit people and say that the future of freedom, the future of quality of life unique to this experiment in self-government is in your hands as individuals. And if you find a family member or someone at church or school, at the deer camp, at the bowling alley, at the shooting range, at the fishing pier, and they're not registered to vote, I want you to fix them. I've been running into punks all my life that said if I didn't get high, I couldn't be part of their gang. You're damn right I won't be a part of your gang. God gave me a middle finger, and I'm not afraid to use it. You can recruit everybody you work with because some Texans are sound asleep. We have the statistics. Do you know the percentage of Texans that are not even registered to vote? And you wonder why Ann Richards got to bullshit everybody like that? Even after Libby's cafeteria, when it's proven when you're unarmed and helpless by law, you will die. And she supported death of Texans. I came to Texas in 1967 to play rock and roll. And I'm packing. Of course I'm packing. I'm a free man. I carry guns. Perfect. Perfect. One guy said, "You have a gun?" I go, "A gun? Why would I have a gun? That'd be like having a bullet." I was more of a Texan than Texans. You didn't have a Second Amendment when I got here. I go, "Am I in New Jersey?" You have your work cut out for you. Starting now, I'm sure some of you have been raising hell substantially for a long period. Not enough. We have the statistics. If anybody represents God, family, country, freedom, Constitution, Bill of Rights, Declaration of Independence, that man in the arena work ethic, being the best that you can be, to be in the asset column for your family, your community, your country, it's the licensed hunters of America. And we got the statistics. 60% of licensed hunters in Texas aren't even registered to vote. Oh, I feel like Braveheart when my good friend tried to kill me. Get everybody off their ass. Get them to register. Get them to vote. Get them to vote for these candidates that are here today that talk like Lauren Boebert and Marjorie Taylor Greene and people that got their middle fingers on fire against the status quo. The status quo in Texas is turning you into California. The Dallas DA has the same law as San Francisco. Austin's competing for feces and needles with LA. It hurts you, breaks your heart, doesn't it? This is not tolerable. This is insanity. Texas. This guy will make Texas, Texas. This guy will make Texas, Texas. Texas, Texas. Texas, real Texas. Go to Washington, D.C. and rub an armadillo up their ass. I can live anywhere on the planet I want to. and I do. I moved here 20 years ago because Michigan has turned into a suburb of New Jersey. I still fight like a son of a bitch up there because I know that the real working hard, playing hard Americans are still in that state. Michigan isn't blue, just the high feces and needles, high crime, gun-free zones are blue. Illinois is not blue, just the Chicago engineered recidivism. Engineered recidivism. What does he mean? It means that they are intentionally releasing rapists and murderers and carjackers and child molesters into your neighborhoods. Any questions? Anybody want to argue with me? Want to debate me? You will lose. Go nuts. Go wild. This is not a culture war anymore. It's a spiritual war. And just this little gang in here today, most of them came with me. You people of the great paradise of South Texas, it's a paradise. Tell me it's not worth it just fighting and recruiting people who are sleeping. If you have a friend that goes, I'm not into politics, well then swim to Cuba where you're not allowed to. An American owes the vote. I've saluted too many flag-draped coffins, as Colonel Allen West just alluded to. They died for their oath to the Constitution. How dare we not support them and demand that we are constitutional? So I could go on and on because I really care and I fight. I've always fought. That's why they call me a radical. Good call. I'm not a sheep. And I have no peers, and I'm incapable of pressure, except by Mrs. Nugent. Go nuts, Texas. You can make Texas what people think Texas is, because right now it's not. Governor Abbott isn't a hardcore guy. He's a good governor. But if you were a good bass player, you couldn't be in my band. You'd have to play country music. I play real music. I'm serious. Good doesn't cut it in Texas. I want an ass kicker. I want a constitutionalist. I want a guy that will not compromise. They've always said, and I'm not a political guy, I'm a we the people guy, which steers politics. And they've always said, well, compromise is the art of politics. No, it's not. Compromise is the art of liberalism. And here we are with this freak in the White House, engineered recidivism, the treason of open borders. If orchestrating the invasion of America isn't treason, what would be? Orchestrating the invasion of America. And then rewarding them and taking our tax dollars to fly them around without masks while we are forced to wear the joke of, again, I could go on. But all I can say is ditto. The man has words of iron, 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 iron. And I have a feeling that this little tiny group, I know you believe it. I bet you live it. I bet you're entrepreneurs. I bet you're business owners. I bet you earn your own way. I bet you're Christian. I bet your home borders are secure. I have a security policy at my place. I have no invaders. And I never will, because they know what my policy is, my rules of engagement. I have a duty to my family. You invade my property, I've got hog bait. Ooh, that's harsh. Whatever. Am I talking like a Texan? Oh, yeah. Let's put people in charge of our beliefs, our hardcore, constitutional, God, family, country, individual freedoms, life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. There's not a French dream. There's not a German dream. There's not a Mexican dream except to get the hell out. There's only one dream. The American dream. Based on the radical, outrageous, defiant moment of the U.S. Constitution. So when they call you a radical, say, you're damn right. I'm not French. Any questions? You can do it. Thank you for being here. Thank you for inviting me.